Say Maiyegun diary, e dey hot like pepper. But every day, dem dey thief money in bulk. Woman pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still dem talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo.
Biafra, we have emerged triumphant from all our foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious. Our trumpets pealing the glorious song. Play it, sing it, all hail Biafra. Oh, hail Biafra, we shall always remember all that perished in the struggle for our freedom. All hail our heroes, our prayer shall be known, both day and night. Say them always, all hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. Now our star shines everywhere. We crave humility. God guide and protect us all. All hail your wisdom, shielding us from fury, unleashed by our enlightenment. Biafra, shining forever.
Onye du iPod, o meriwo n'izu, onye ya, aba ya, mama ya,
afternoon to you. Good morning to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làwọn tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Share the broadcast, invite your friends and invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them, Maiyegun today. You see, tonight, what we're going to do is that we will be throwing questions that we already know the answers. They call them the rhetorical questions, right? We'll be throwing questions at this Buhari idiot. So, throwing questions at this Lagos Abobakus. Obvious questions why you should never be part of the charade. It's important. Share the broadcast.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ ṣẹ́ o kẹ́kọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Maiyegun diary. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Tell them. Thank you very much. I hope you can all possibly hear me clear. Loud and clear, by the way. Thank you for joining me tonight again from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun Live. Tonight, we want to treat further the statement of Tifnumbu. And I'm actually going to give you some other announcement as well, which comes with this. As we do it all the time, just pay attention and follow. When you disagree, if you disagree, there's likely going to be a section where you can grab your phone, call in, and hear your own disagreements, talking about legacies. Tifnumbu said he's running to be president of Nigeria because he has the capacity, he has the competence, he has the whatever, he has the blah, 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 black sheep to take Nigeria to the level of Dubai. You possibly have read that somewhere where some of these clowns have started making up conjectures to, portray Tifnumbu as the idealist in a way. But he said he is coming to build on Buhari's legacy. Can we begin to check all those legacies because we know them? And if you are one of the Lagos Abobakus, or maybe your own chapter is the Oshogbo Almajiris, or maybe you are one of those Abroadian Buhari idiots, those patriotic Nigerians living abroad, painting the picture of El Dorado to the percentage mummuns, the local Buhari idiots back in Nigeria. You see, patriotic Nigerians from abroad, whoever or wherever you belong to, let's begin to trash the legacies that Tifnumbu is coming to build on for your APC. Now, listen to this. Whatever you like, you can make of this, okay? I am a Yoruba man, a full-blooded Yoruba man. I know my father, and I also know where he comes from. My father knows his own father. His own father knows his own father too. So they all knew themselves, and I can give you the traces. It is not somebody from Iragbiji that is not even so proud of it in the first place, that I will be so kind of blackmailed, right, into accepting a crooked criminal, senile, demented criminal to be my leader anywhere, anytime. So whatever you like, you can make of it. But the point here is this. The criminal that you probably are projecting, you are doing so on a criminal platform called APC, Egbekegbe. So whatever we call the legacies of Buhari, they are the legacy of APC, Egbekegbe. And before you drag me into it and say, oh, well, maybe we should see it the other way. No, you can see it the other way if you really want to get the other result. I mean, different results, so to say, right? Legacies of Buhari. When these guys came together, because one of the problems that Nigerians do have, some say, I mean, some people said that it's not just Nigeria, it's like black people. Wherever. I won't use that blanket statement, I'll say. So I would rather use Nigerians. One of the things they suffer from is called Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome, whereby the calamities they experience daily in their lives, yeah, and they are probably managing and surviving, makes them forget about the hardship of that yesterday, the agony. That is why the criminals who put this on them or who brought this upon them can always represent themselves, because majority of Nigerians are suffering from Stockholm syndrome. Some actually suffering from selective amnesia, and some suffering from deliberate amnesia, those who deliberately pretended that they can't remember these evil men and what they have done and what they are doing. So it is better on Maiyegun's diary, Politico, to always remind you, so that you don't maul everyone into one, one disastrous journey again, only to turn around and start blaming other people for that. Stockholm syndrome. When these criminals came together, they came with the slogan of fighting corruption. Don't forget that. They came to fight terrorism and bring peace to Nigeria. Don't forget that. They also said they came, what's the thought? I mean, the thought the things Buhari said he was going to do: fight corruption, fight Boko Haram, and what? I can't remember. But again, using their manifesto here, they said they were coming to end corruption. Today, Nigeria is more corrupt than before they came in. Oh, I remember. He said economy. Now, let's take them on the three. Corruption, security, and economy. In 2015, when these criminals took power, mind you, from record right now, they said PDP, people destroying people, that they borrowed, the total money, the debt they left was 6 trillion naira in 16 years. The debt of Nigeria has now crossed over 40 trillion, which means in 6-7 years, these criminals, yeah, they took Nigeria to the, so they put Nigeria into indebtedness of over 30 trillion naira. But what can you show for it? Exponential corruption, exponential poverty. And then, under this corrupt government, from the word go, it has, it was all about what can they grab. It was pretty much like they have a timer of when Nigeria is going to collapse, and they just want to take whatever they can take. Let's start from the Babashir Lawal under this Buhari's APC, Egbekegbe, corruption. Babashir Lawal was appointed as the secretary to the government of Nigeria under Buhari. You remember it took him 6 months or 7 months before he finally selected the saints to be his ministers. But his first appointment was that of Babashir Lawal. And these artless criminals, under them, within 6 months, within 6 months, they emptied the Nigerian silos in northern Nigeria. That was when they said they were taking care of the internally displaced persons in northeast of Nigeria. Babashir Lawal, Buhari started, started a committee, as they always call it, right? That committee is Presidential Committee on Rehabilitation, Resettlement, and Relocation, blah, 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 of the victims of Boko Haram. Now, that should have been a legacy for a government that came on the back of, the killed, the slaughtered, and the displaced people of northern Nigeria to start with. What did they do? I'm talking about corruption now, yeah? Babashir Lawal's office was to supervise this project of returning people back to their homes. These were the people displaced by Boko Haram. There was no Fulani terrorist then. What did they do? Within a short space of time, Babashir Lawal is already started depleting the little resources that they put together to help the internally displaced people. That was the genesis of turning this terrorism into business, Babashir Lawal. Well, the Senate under Saraki decided to probe him. This was APC versus APC. Do you know what happened? Mr. Corruption Fighter, Buhari, wrote a letter twice to the National Assembly. When the National Assembly indicted Babashir Lawal, that he used 242 million naira to clear the grass around IDP camps. What is IDP camps? Refugee camps of northerners, Nigerians who have been displaced by terrorists, and they are now living in a makeshift settlement, sometimes on the field. Now, clearing the field, they used 242 million naira within just 2 months of coming to power. Buhari wrote to the National Assembly that he investigated Babashir Lawal, and Babashir Lawal is as clean as a wool. That in fact, the report of his investigation said Babashir Lawal did a great job. The great job Babashir Lawal did was 210 trucks of grains, like maize, rice, millet, soya beans, and all these things that Buhari that said they came to meet empty treasury, right? Agriculture. You remember that guy who was in charge of agriculture, the agriculture minister of Nigeria, who is now the president of the African Development Bank? Remind me of his name. Adeshino. It was a period in Nigeria where Nigeria grew food, right? And they had silos with storage. When Buhari's APC, Egbekegbe, came in, 210 trucks were loaded from 2 different silos in northern Nigeria. And guess what? 160 of those trucks, so I'm talking about 18 tire trucks, 160 something of those trucks got missing in transit. And 2 months after that, they found some of them in storage, food storage warehouses in Kano, where they are rebagging them to be sold in northern markets under Babashir Lawal. 242 million naira to cut grass. And they said they were feeding the people in IDP camp with 100 million naira a day. All these scams were exposed. Guess what? Babashir Lawal was covered. Talking about corruption. Babashir Lawal kept his job until Buhari became sick. And Ikene Shatabandu, fake Pastor Ruga, became the acting president. Now, when he became the acting president, quickly, he sacked Babashir Lawal. You know the story, right? But that's not what I'm actually driving at. You would probably have said, oh, yeah. Oh, Oshibaju, well done. See, he sacked Babashir Lawal. But do you know what happened within the next 100 days? That Buhari was away. Ikene Shatabandu opened his own vista of a fraud too. What did he do? you quickly go on to they have something called consolidated fund, right? And there's also this proposal from NEMA, National Emergency Management Agency. I don't know if that's right? NEMA. Now, NEMA has a budget of 5.8 billion naira. But this budget was produced by this team of NEMA guys. There is no governing body for them, okay? So as Oshubade Ikene Shatabandu sacked Babashir Lawal, right? On the other hand, he started his own, he saw an opportunity, and that was in NEMA, like I said. So Buhari couldn't inaugurate the governing body for NEMA so that their budgets, whatever they have, can get approved by the president. As it has to be presented by the governing body, as they said. Now, the governing body has been there, but they've not been inaugurated. So what happened? What was the money even meant for? 5.8 billion naira was the money that NEMA needed to clear the rice. A ship of rice that barged in Lagos from China. China donated a big vessel of rice, grains, to be distributed to the internally displaced people in Nigeria. So NEMA was to oversee that, yeah? Now, somehow, the ship entered demurrage at the Nigerian ports. So NEMA is now owing Nigerian custom billions of naira to clear the rice they gave to them for free. So this demurrage was what brought about this money. So Oshobade, quickly, without inaugurating anything, he just gave approval to NEMA. Quickly, they released the money. Quickly, they released the rice. So that means they shared the money. The National Assembly now investigated that corruption. How could you do that? That's corruption on its own. You are a lawyer. How could you? But you know the drill. Corruption. The people that came to fight corruption under these same corrupt criminals, they gave you Magu. Maguluta Crook was the star boy. Oh, he was going to go after this, he was going to go after that. Then the drama started. Oh, this person looted $100 billion. That one looted $50 billion. Oh, this one, we saw money inside the tank. We saw money at the burial ground. Oh, we saw money inside GP. All these stuffs. They bombarded you with all the looted stuffs. Now, when it was time for them to give accounts of all this money they found, yeah, there was no accounts. In fact, returned loot were relooted. No accounts. Here is where the corruption part of it is so obvious, okay? And the legacy that Ifnumbu is coming to build on, which you should possibly question, all right? It didn't end there. Maguluta Crook couldn't account for the money they recovered from the looters. The star looters that they told you of, starting from Good Luck Egbere Jolantan, they told you that they were going to send him to jail. One thing that I keep asking the Buhari idiots, like, when are you going to ask Buhari to tell you how much Jonathan stole? Because that's what they told you. But they are too dumb to ask. They don't ask questions. Maguluta Crook and the rest of them relooted the loot. And the Zani, the woman that gave APC campaign money when she was the Minister of Petroleum under Goodluck Egbere Jolantan, lives in London. All this while they are mesmerizing the Nigerians with the entertainment of fighting corruption, Zani was putting up different makeups here in the UK, enjoying her life. There was no single request from Nigeria to have Zani brought back to Nigeria. Corruption. But when election came, professor that will tell you what corruption has done to Nigeria, a fake Pastor Ruga, he championed the corrupt campaign right before your eyes. They had no economic plan. For 4 years, no real economic plan. They destroyed your jobs. They destroyed your economy. They destroyed they destroyed everything. Enough that you felt the brunt. that they had to actually use the force of the military to rig themselves back in. The legacy of the Buhari. Last, when they asked them, where is the money you got back from the looters? Where is the money? They said they put the money into construction of your rail line, construction of roads, construction of this and that. They put the money back into construction. How much did you put back? They couldn't give account of that. But yet, you are in debt to China. You are in debt to World Bank, in debt to IMF, in debt to African Development Bank, in debt to Sukuk, in debt to just anyone that could borrow you money. That's who you are indebted to right now. And then you ask, where is the money you recovered under these corrupt criminals? Abacha loot was returned. Guess what? It was during the 100 days that Ikene Shatabandu was acting president. The Abacha loot of about $350 million was returned to Nigeria. And Ikene Shatabandu came and he said the money will be shared to the poor people, the poorest people in Nigeria. So that's it. Then the following day, they made an announcement that they are agreeing to a new loan from World Bank to fight polio in northern Nigeria. What was the loan they were asking for? They got approval for a loan of $170 million to fight polio in northern Nigeria. They got a return loot of over 300 million. Yeah? They said they were going to share it. And you know what that means? Election came. The same fake Pastor Ruga came up with an idea. Trade that money. Wasn't that corruption? Buying election? Buying votes with government money. The guy even crashed in Kogi. That didn't discourage him from loading a lot of money in choppers, flying about, sharing money. Legacy of Buhari on corruption. The final one is that the people they told you were going to go to jail for different corrupt practices of theirs and how they have harmed you pre-2015, they ended up being your senators in APC, governors in APC, this in APC, that in APC. Then you are trapped in between. Okay, what can you do now? Now that journey is what you're about to go on to. When you have a corrupt element, coming up with, we have an idea of how to fight corruption. Look around you. Do you still need an example?